In this video I'm going to show you how to install the Labview QRM client via package manager package. So what you do need to do is to get a hold of the client package. You can either download it from AdQ or get it on the Labview Tools network. And just click on it and the via package manager will open like this. And just press install and it will automatically install to any Labview version from 2010 and up. The next thing we need to do is to install the QRM web service. After we have installed the client, either a Labview client or a test client, we need to install the QRM Windows background service. This picture shows what we're trying to do. To the left we have the test station, that's the computer I'm at now, and we're trying to set up this station to post reports to the demo server located at adq4.se, here to the right. The demo server has a web service installed, it has a database and also web application pre-installed. So our client here, either a Labview or a testing client, will post HTML report to a QRM web service that will forward it to the web service located at the demo server, and then we will fetch the data through the web application to view it in the browser. To install the QRM web service, just run the setup from the installation folder, double click, select next, accept the licenses and click next to install. In this example I actually already have QRM web service installed and it will ask me to upgrade, else it will just install. Press next and then you're done. After the installation has finished, open the browser, enter local host port 8080/QRM result. Then you will see the QRM web service. As you can see, the license is invalid because no license has been installed. And with no license you cannot store data to database or forwarding data, except forwarding data to the adq4.se demo server. That will work. As you can see here, down here, this is the features that are enabled and everything is false. By default, everything is disabled in QRM. So the next thing we need to do is actually to configure the QRM web service to enabling forwarding to the QRM demo server. Open the Explorer, go into the shared documents, and there's a folder called QRM. In this folder there is a configuration file. If you just edit it in Notepad and scroll down to forward settings, forwarding active is false, set that to true, and forwarding URLs is already predefined to the adq4 demo server. Save and close. Now enter QRM result/shutdown. Enter QRM user and the password. And then press info again. And then you can see that the forwarding is actually enabled. Now we're all set up to post and forward data to the adq4 demo server. So if I just open a new VI, you'll see that there will be a new palette here called QRM. Here are all things you can actually do to store the results. And also have G# installed. You do not need G# installed, even if I recommend it as a highly useful toolkit. but you don't need G# actually. There are some help files. It's a PDF where all the VIs are explained, and also installations instruction of how to install the QRM client and do the things I do in this video actually, and so on. Some troubleshooting sections as well. What's really helpful is the find example section here. If you find examples and search for QRM like this, there are actually 6 simple examples. I'm going to start with the first one. That's sort of the simplest possible example. That's sort of the minimum information you need to provide, and as you can see here, almost it's like just a few VIs like this. Just some general information here about the station, and some information about the unit on the test, like UT type and UT serial number. Over here is the QRM web service that we would like to connect to and post. And then we have some test results. We have 2 test results that are grouped into one test. That is grouped to the result set over here. And this one will post, and then we will kill the resources over here. So if I just run like this, no errors, and I go to the web application, and we can see that if I press info here, we can see we have 1 result request, we have 1 successful forward. I go to the demo server, we can see if I press info, and we see we have 1 result request and 1 successful database storage. And then I go to the web application, press execute, and we can see there's our example 1, and here is my test, my result 1, my result 2, my result 1, my result 2, my test 1. Same here. The next example I'm going to show you is the test group example that will demonstrate the result hierarchy of QRM, where you have test results generated, that's part of a test, and that test is also part of another test group that could be contained within another test group. So you can have a real nice hierarchy in the results. So if I just run this like this, we can go back to see that now we have 2 result requests. Same here. And you press execute to see the last results here, and here it is. And now if I expand this, you can see that we have a really nice hierarchy of results, so you can sort of build up your own result hierarchy. The next example I'm going to show you is the attachments example. This is a really cool feature of QRM where you can actually attach files to the results. It could be any kind of file. In this example I'm going to attach an image and append to test. So if I just run this like this, and then we can check, press info, and then we can see that we have 3 results now, but we also get 1 successful attachment request and successful forwarding of an attachment. And I can see here, press info, that I had got some result attachments as well. And if I go here, press execute, we can see that my example 3 here, and we can see that compared to this one here, you can see this is just result. It actually appears as a link. So if I just click that, it will open up in a new tab and show it directly if it's a file type that the web browser can show in the browser directly, else you will be prompted to download it. The next example I'm going to show you is called example 4, called parameters. Parameters is something you can also send along with QRM, and if you have, for instance, have a result, you can actually attach something called parameters, and that could be just some setting values that you have been used when measuring the result to sort of help you know what you're measuring. For instance, if you have some settings of an instrument or something that really varies, but you have to be a bit careful because you generate a lot of extra information in the database. So perhaps sometimes if you just keep track of your configuration version will be enough. But I would try to run it like this, and we can see here, press info, yeah, we got a new result. Check out if it has reached our server yet, and it has, example 4. If I click it here, you don't see much because you have to click the parameters as well. And if I do it again, expand, click again, you see now we have parameters attached to my test, and here is the parameters showing for that test. You will have parameters for all tests you have done if you send them along, but you have to click the parameters as well. Yes, and finally I will show you a typical application. What you typically do in your Labview application is something like this. You typically have a loop. You typically have collected all your results in some kind of array of cluster or something like that. So in this example, we just generate a few for a couple of UTs, and then we just generate a couple of tests for each UT and some dummy results for each test, and just some random numbers here, and then I just collect them in the loops here and finally post them to QRM. So let's say we put in 5 UTs, 3 tests for each UT, and 4 results for each test. So if I just run that, we can see here is actually the HTML generated. You can get that out of the VI that actually posted, so you can have a look at it. It's really good to take a look at the HTML sometimes. And if I go to QRM directly like this, we can see now we have example 5, and they are all failed like this, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 UTs, 3 tests with 4 results each. Notice that the pass fail here is totally controlled by what you actually put in here, the outcome to the test. So you control it totally here. So QRM is not so smart that it figure out which unit has passed or failed or something like that. You typically set pass fail directly in your code, so you have total control of what you see in the QRM web application.